What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. It's Friday. It's Ryan and Jay. And I'm dragging this morning, man. I haven't had my coffee yet. That is one thing. I haven't had my coffee yet, Jay. That might be why I'm fucking dragging so hard.
I was up early.
I feel like I'm getting feel like I'm finally might be getting sick like everybody else who went to this goddamn convention. I don't know what's going on. What's up, man?
I take that airborne stuff, man. I keep that airborne. You never heard of airborne? Airborne is like so like if you're gonna do a long trip, they have this thing called airborne that you take like when you get on a plane and all that stuff, and it keeps you from getting sick. It's like a big shot. Basically, it's like a big shot of vitamin C. So
it's like emergency, basically.
Yeah. See, airborne is legit. You can get in cherry flavor too now. So anyway, it's just a little dish. You just chew it up in the morning, and you should be all good. It's an immune booster. I make sure I have it because I traveled a lot, so I have it. Go to a lot of cons. If you're not used to doing that, man, you'll get that con crud.
Somebody at the convention fucking hugged me or shook my hand and got me sick. Whoever you fucking are.
Yeah. And they probably got a lot of people sick because a lot of people are sick too. Gross.
It happens.
Hey, man, how's it going? You like, they all talking like Robert Kennedy over here.
You're shaking so many people's hands and everything. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen.
Hey, I didn't get sick for 2 years, man. I went to a lot of conventions and shook a lot of hands. That airborne is legit. They should give me a sponsor.
Means you're not working hard enough, Jay. You're not driving your body to the point of exhaustion. That's why you didn't get sick. That's what's going on.
Probably true.
I was between that and all the theme parks and all the walking around and shit, man. I was beat. I was beat after this weekend, no doubt.
Yeah, on top of that, I played 18 rounds, man.
18 rounds of golf. That's a lot.
18 holes, I mean.
Oh. It's 18 rounds. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, well, when we got to like hole number
164 holes or some shit. What is that?
When I got to hole number 6, I was feeling it. I was like, man, we should have just played top 9 and be done with the day,
I can't do that. If I'm gonna go like go out, make the effort, all that stuff, and only play 9, bro. Dude, when we went to Vegas and played on the Wynn, me and Jeremy and Gary, dude, I was so fucking mad at them because they sucked so fucking bad and they took forever to play. And it took us like 3 hours to play 9 holes.
Now you play with me. I'm not as bad as them, am I?
No, you're not as bad as them, and you're quicker too. But yeah. God, it just took them fucking forever to do anything. And I'm just sitting there like ready to hit, ready to hit, ready to hit, ready to go, ready to go. Took us 3 hours to play 9 goddamn holes.
You only did 9, and it was hot too, right?
If it takes me 3 hours to play 18, I'm pissed.
Yeah. But yeah, we didn't. But we also, you don't play by these rules, but
no, I play golf because I want to like know when I'm scoring. I know you have fun with your scramble though.
Yeah. We usually just play scramble, just because we think it's fun. I don't know, man. Like once you get to like after a couple beers hitting in hole 7 or 8. People start like taking big divot shots. It's freaking hilarious, dude. I can't stop laughing. But no, we powered through, got the 18 done. Actually, didn't do too bad for what it's worth. But I got to say this. The guy that was with us, X-Wing, talked such this big game that he's a golfer. Bro, he sucks, dude. Like, I am not even like joking. He talked a big game on how he used to play, like, and he plays every weekend and that he's good and all that stuff. He freaking sucks, dude. Like I couldn't believe how bad it was. We got to like hole 5 and we're like, bro, you really talk a good game, don't you? So
that's how it works. So that's
how it works.
You know what I mean? I'd rather just fucking have people have no expectations for me to go out there and then I surprise everybody. That's usually what the plan is.
Yeah.
Except I was shit talking Jeremy.
Yeah.
I wanted him to know he was gonna suck. I wanted him to know that from the beginning.
Yeah. I have never played with Jeremy. Or you're the only one from G&G I think I play with. But we gotta do that some more before it gets way too hot. Playing Florida in August, man, that's rough. It's a
No,
rough
thank
time.
you.
But it only costs like $8. You play golf in August here in Florida, like no one wants to play. It's like
Yeah,
eight
I
to
don't.
$10 for like these nice courses, but because no one wants to go out there in 100 degrees, 100 humidity, and possibly drop dead around hole 4.
It was hot yesterday, man. It was
Yeah,
like fucking 93 degrees at night last night. I was
yeah,
dying. I was dying. Maybe
yeah.
that's why I'm not maybe that's why I'm sick today.
I had to cut my grass while other people are dealing with snow.
God. Professor Savage Dad for 10. I really appreciated Ryan's debut acting in Cap 4. His performance was one of the few bright spots in the film. Surprised they used CG to make his forehead smaller, though. Look, I heard if they would have actually let me audition for the role of the leader, I probably could have killed it. I heard they went with a little bit different typecasting, which is fine, but very few roles are made for me. I feel like that could have been one of them. Tobias for 10. So I fucked up my stream last night and pulled a J. I hit the set key for
What
Mech
does that
Warrior.
mean?
I hit the
What does
set
that
key
mean?
for Mech Warrior 5, but it was also the key to end streaming through OBS. So I wound up ending the stream mid-mission. Sorry, GCA.
I think there was one daily when I left the stream and I accidentally shut down the stream. Do you remember that?
I do.
I think it was just one time. I think I hit end stream. I don't remember hitting end stream, but I left and the whole stream shut down. There was like 10 minutes left.
I think Jeremy's done that before too.
Well.
Common accident, I suppose. Wooties for $2 says 4 times Ryan and Jay this week. I'm okay with this.
Hey, appreciate it.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Well, and speaking of Ryan and Jay things, every once in a while, you get to see us talk about ad reads on this channel. And today, Raycon is back. Raycon is back. Shout out to the people over at Raycon. Let me get my cool little banner up there. This is a professional atmosphere when we do these, but we are back with Raycon. Shout out to Raycon once again. As you know, Jay, I don't know if you know this or not, but today is Valentine's Day, which means sometimes you need last minute gifts. Maybe if you don't have a significant other in your life, you want to buy a gift for yourself to make yourself feel better. Whatever it may be, Raycon's the place to go. Whether you want to show yourself some love or get a perfect last-minute gift for a loved one, we have the perfect product for you, Raycon's Everyday Earbuds. Raycon Everyday Earbuds are the perfect partner for the gym, work, phone calls, or just everyday use on the go. Jay, I know you've been hitting the gym a lot. I'm telling you, Raycon Everyday Earbuds, I use them when I hit the gym. I like them because they fit well in my pocket. They fit well in my ears, which you don't always find from some of these other brands that are out there. And the latest model, better than ever, 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity. They come in a wide variety of colors, perfect for you or anyone in your life. Some of my favorite features are the quick charge function, because sometimes, I don't know about you, Jay, I get a little forgetful. Sometimes I forget to charge them up, but only 10 minutes on the charger, I get 90 minutes of battery time out of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds. And I like the active noise canceling feature because, to be honest, I don't want to hear anybody else in the world other than myself and the music or podcast or whatever it is that I happen to be listening to. I personally use them nearly every day when I'm out and about or just around the house. They fit comfortable in my pocket and in my ears. Like I said, look at this. How easy is this? Boom. Just like that, active noise canceling, and I get to hear anything other than Cobra Cast in my ear. That's usually what I'm going for. And with the wide variety of colors and a variety of protective cases, it can fit your style. Go to buyraycon.com/geeksgamers. That's Geeks Gamers, no and in between there, to get up to 20% off site-wide. That's right. You get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website, including 20% off all headphones too, when you go to buyraycon.com/geeksgamers today. So big shout out to our friends over there at Raycon. Good job, Jay. Jay's the Vanna White.
I was the hype man.
He's the hype man.
As soon as you said Jay goes to the gym, the whole chat was like, Jay goes to the gym. Actually, I am. I'm trying, man.
See?
I'm starting I'm learning to box of all things. That stuff has started. Actually, I have to go today. It's freaking crazy.
I do actually like them, and they're pretty reasonable price wise compared to a lot of the other stuff out there. So shout out to Raycon.
Freaking boxing.
Yeah,
Hate
you're
it.
boxing now.
Yeah.
Jay, after I was so hyped about Cobra Kai, the final episodes, you went and binged them all yesterday, huh?
I watched, yes, every single one. I couldn't stop. It was everything that I wanted and hoped for. It was incredible. Few times I was actually screaming at the TV because I was like, "No, they didn't!" And I'm like, "Yes, they did!" Without giving out spoilers. They even brought back some of the old soundtrack, which I thought was really cool. So, and not anyway, no, not spoilers, but shout out Saved by the Bell. Just throwing that out there. You'll know when you see. So
So I think that like I said, I did watch the final episode because I was here praising the first four. I watched the
yeah.
final episode. I think it was just a perfect way to end the show. A great conclusion to these characters and what they've built up this entire time. I think the focus was on the right characters at the end, and they give you everything you want. By the end of episode 3, when you're fucking hearing Thunderstruck, if you're not like up off your couch fucking screaming, there might be something wrong with you. Cause I was with
Yeah,
you,
it was
Jay.
great.
I was legit like on my feet, fucking screaming about some of the shit that I was watching in a good way. In a good
The
way.
thing, it's just we finally get a, after all these years of people bringing people back to redo a show, right? Kind of thing. It's like they did it with Star Wars. 30 years later, we're bringing people back. We're gonna redo this show. We're gonna bring back. They're talking about doing that with Goonies 2 now, and those rumors are starting to get a little more heavy about the second Goonies and bringing the old cast back. But this one, they did right. At least that's how I feel. They treated the characters right. They treated the story. Thought the story was great for what it was. Crazy. I enjoyed every minute of it. I loved it. It's finally. Yeah, the ending was perfect.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's just it's such an it's a tough thing to do. I started rewatching the first season again, actually. And it's such a difficult thing to do to take a character that you were supposed to hate and a character that everybody loved and kind of do a little role reversal with them.
Mhm.
You know, it's a difficult thing to do, but they did it so right to get you to feel really bad for Johnny and sympathize with Johnny and everything that he had been through initially, and to kind of feel like Daniel's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And all the and the way that that singular moment changed the entire course of their lives, one for the better, one for the worse, and one person who's really lost touch with all of these things that their success was built on, which is Daniel, and a guy who's never had anything and always been a fucking loser since that point in his life in
Yeah.
Johnny. And I just think listen, there's been ups and downs throughout the seasons.
And there's
Especially
been
in
some extra layers of cheese, but I love it.
especially in those couple middle sections. But I thought season 5 was really good, and I think season 6, although it was longer, and obviously they had a lot of stuff to do, and people didn't like waiting 5 episodes at a time, 5 episodes at a time. When it was all said and done, I think it delivered everything that the fans wanted to see in a final season of Cobra Kai, and sets these. If we see these characters again at some point down the road, that's great. I don't need to.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I think it closed it pretty well.
Yeah. Now are there characters that they could go and do something with in the future, especially some of the younger cast of characters? For sure. But I don't think anybody needs it. I don't think anyone's specifically demanding it right now, but who knows? Maybe sometime in the future.
It just was neat that they were able to bring back everyone, from Karate Kid 3, like Mike Barnes. It's like, who would have thought, the old Cobra Kai gang, they just brought everyone back, chosen from Karate Kid 2. They were able to just to find them all, and they all said, yeah, let's go and do this. And it was interesting because William Zabka was on, I don't know, he was
You
on
met
one of
him.
the, yeah, I mean,
He scoped you out.
he's amazing. He's an amazing guy with the fans. He was on one of the late night talk shows, and they asked him about the Cobra Kai series, and he goes, everybody was on board except for Ralph Macchio because he felt that that character was who everybody, when they see him, that's all they know about him. And he didn't want that character damaged ever. So he was the last one to convince after, and then I think he became a producer on the show to have like some kind of creative rights to make sure that his character was not damaged. And I mean, I guess rightfully so, because we've seen that so many times. Hollywood decides to, because they're bankrupt, they go back in time to like recreate or do something to shows that we love. That, like you could take any one of them. Matrix 4, that was not needed. Horrible. Indiana Jones, we don't need that last Indiana Jones film. That was terrible. Freaking The Last Jedi, Star. I mean, you just go on and on. Freaking bringing back the Willow. It's like that was so bad they just removed it, and they never want anyone to speak about it again. It's just like on and on. So yeah, I could totally understand like their concerns of you guys want to continue the story. Like that hasn't worked out so well in Hollywood. So I don't know if I want to do that, but I think this one did. I feel it did a great job in respecting the characters and the story. So
100%. And I think that, in the end, we finally got that. Don't want to put any spoilers out there, but obviously it's not going to end in like it ends in a good way. Johnny finally gets that redemption that he's been looking for his entire fucking life. And at moments you've thought that he was going to have it through this series, when he brings Cobra Kai back and Miguel wins the fucking tournament, like he thinks that that's going to be the thing that gets that redemption for him. Well, when he sees how Miguel wins, when he sees his son on the mat as a loser, that very quickly gets flipped, where he doesn't feel that redemption that he thought he would feel when all of that went down. And yeah, dude, I highly recommend anybody watching it. If you haven't watched Cobra Kai, just fucking binge the whole thing right now. Just do it. It's good. It's fun. And there's something that is a little more wholesome about it than a lot of the other shit we watch. So
there's that word again, wholesome. Sure. That's your second time saying that in 2 days. Wholesome.
That's what I feel when I watch it, just because it's there's something so simple about, for the fucking 10th time seeing these characters who one isn't sure about themselves or sure about this or whatever, and like having them have a face-to-face and a talk, and the other person reminding them who they are, reminding them what they can do, whatever. It's just so simple. You know what I mean? But I feel like I don't watch enough things like that. And specifically these last 5 episodes, there's a lot of finality to a lot of the discussions, and it's the last time seeing these characters. It gets pretty emotional. It does. But yes, Cobra Kai never fucking dies, baby. Cobra Kai. All right, where are we? Neutral Kirby, happy Valentine's Day and my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you, Neutral Kirby. My family and I couldn't attend today due to crazy Valentine's crowd, so we'll celebrate on Sunday at the Cheesecake Factory. What's your favorite cheesecake? Plain ass New York style cheesecake with some chocolate on it.
I like mine with like a raspberry sauce, but yeah, just a regular. When they get a little too creative, and I'm sure some people like that, but plain cheesecake with a little.
I'm fucking plain, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
San Nicholas Gore for 2. When Jay golf, does he ride the short golf cart?
I do. I don't even drive. I hate driving the golf cart because I've crashed one time and it kind of freaked me out. Wasn't paying attention. I hit like some kind of big pothole or whatever it was in the ground, and I hit a tree years ago. So usually now I just ride.
I always want to drive.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Stephen McBride for 2. Ryan, why aren't you at the Eagles victory parade?
That's today. It's not at Disney. Oh, no, they did Disney already, didn't they?
I'm not gay, so I'm not an Eagles fan. Jessica Lindstorm, Secret Racism. Hail Mustache Man from Germany. Thank you. Alex McCarthy for 2. Episode 3 almost made me stand up. Says our paralyzed friend, Alex McCarthy. It was hype, bro. Flag Ninja. Hail Gay and Jay.
Hey.
Jessica Lindstorm, Secret Racism. Doesn't like Africans. Thanks. SBZ for 5. Ryan, I heard you had a very pleasant experience ordering pizza during the con. Care to tell the tale? Jeremy already fucking told it to everybody, I suppose. I didn't order the pizza. We left it up to people who are unqualified to order the pizza to be ordering the pizza. And then instead of ordering it directly from the place, they ended up doing it through Uber Eats from a place that would have delivered it anyway if you had fucking called them. Part of the problem, too. And of course, every Uber Eats driver, all of them are fucking useless pieces of shit who can't speak English. So couldn't fucking count. Can't count the right number of boxes. Can't tell the difference between what's supposed to be a pizza box versus what's supposed to be a breadstick box. Just a literal piece of shit. And I hope he gets fucking tossed out of the country.
I never had a problem.
Samsung Young for 5. It's easy to tell the creation of Falcon Captain America was ideological from the start. Any creative person would have named the character Uncle Sam or American Eagle. Instead, it's Blacked in America. I don't know if Uncle Sam would have worked too well, but maybe. Jay, you saw Captain Falcon America, Brave New Soldier, didn't you?
I did.
How was it?
It was a terrible film that you could literally see the reshoot, cut and paste, and things just didn't make sense. I'm going back and forth. The fighting scenes were actually, it looked like they were filmed in slow motion. It was kind of weird. And the truth is, this could have easily been a Falcon movie because he doesn't really do anything Captain America. He does everything Falcon. So all his powers have been upgraded from Wakanda. And his wings and everything is really like it's what he used mostly. He does throw the shield every now and then, but it really has zero impact. The only thing he did with the shield was stop some bullets, but he did the same thing with his Falcon wings. It's all this could have easily been a Falcon film. There was nothing.
5 minutes of Red Hulk at the end.
If that, yeah. I don't want to give spoilers unless you guys want a few, but it's the Hulk isn't even. He's not even the bad guy. He just randomly shows up.
Yeah, it's not like he's the main villain throughout the movie.
He's not.
It just happens right at the end because the president was my guess about what this movie is yesterday. Do you remember when I went through that?
What was your guess?
About the president wants Sam to lead the Avengers or lead in a certain way, and they had a disagreement about how or why this should happen. And no,
sort of. So,
okay.
All right, I'm gonna spoil it. If you don't want spoilers,
right,
go ahead and leave. So, Captain America gets called into the White House because we got a new president who's taking these pills. It's so obvious. He constantly is taking pills like every hour. Okay, cool. Captain America or Sam is training another guy to be the Falcon. And so they go to train with a super soldier who served his country for so many years named Isaiah. He's an older guy, really older guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they go to the White House and the president goes, "Hey, you want to start the Avengers? We need the Avengers." And he's like, "Well, we got to see how that works because last time, what if we disagree on something?" He goes, "No, I've changed. We need the Avengers back. Can you make the Avengers?" Like, okay. So then they all go to this meeting and the president's talking about uranium, right? At the not uranium, the metal, that's in Wolverine's
Adamantium.
Adamantium.
The adamantium that was found in the thing from Eternals.
From Eternals. Yeah, if you didn't watch the Eternals, you have no idea what's going on in that part. So he's talking to all the world leaders. He's like, "Hey, we're going to divide it up amongst the world, and we can all have it." Then some weird music plays, and all the soldiers that were in the room grab guns from police officers and tries to kill the president. And the president gets taken to the back. And so Sam, Captain America, gets angry because his friend Isaiah gets arrested. He's like, "Isaiah, what did you do? Like, he goes, "I don't know. I lost my mind. I don't remember what happened." So then he's like, you got to let Isaiah go. He's a hero. So then he storms into the president's office in his bunker
Bro,
and says,
I'm so sick of fucking of Captain America, of Sam specifically. I guess I haven't seen the context for it, but go ahead.
yeah. So he storms in, and the president's like, he could stay. Let's have a talk. And he's like, you got to let Isaiah go. Let me be the lead investigator. He goes, your friend tried to kill me. You're no longer Captain America. Get out of here. It's like
You're
literally
no Steve Rogers.
So yeah, that's the line. So he walks out, and one of the Secret Service guards like puts her hand up. It's like, please don't be that guy, Sam. He goes, I am that guy. He walks out. So then he gets his little team together to the whole movie was about him helping his friend that's in jail. So yes, there's spoilers. Sorry, it's the whole movie. So then
the whole thing is fucking Winter Soldier again. This time with black people. That's basically what this is. Jesus.
Yes. So he's trying to do investigations back and forth. The president didn't want anything to do with it. The president's taking these pills, and then they find out, dude, it is so bad. They finally watch the videotape of the White House, and they see all the soldiers get this flashy light on their cell phone. and they're like, then they all get possessed. And they're like, something odd is happening with those flashing lights. So then, like, some people from the White House goes, I noticed the flashing lights too. Let's work together and figure this out. It brings them all back down to the leader, the big brain guy that looks horrible. Like he's got some kind of bad infection on his brain. And
why can't they just make the leader look like the leader? Jesus.
I know, it's rough. So he's like, well,
the only characters I can see myself in.
Basically, he's killing people because he's super smart, but he's like, the president promised a pardon and I would work with him, and he lied to me. I've been in this prison forever, so now I'm going to escape and show the world how bad this president really is. And Sam's like, you got to do better. Don't do that kind of stuff. We can stop all that. So then the president, because the other world leaders almost got assassinated, they're all like, we don't want to work with America anymore. You know, we're going to get that celestial stuff ourselves. And it was mostly Japan. So the leader's trying to pin Japan versus America for this big war, right? That's what he's trying to do. He's taking control of soldiers with the flashing light on their cell phones to fire on Japan boats and all that stuff. So Sam is like the Falcon trying to stop all this. Meanwhile, the president's taking these pills. Finally, you're like, what the frick are you taking pills for? And he goes, I had a bad heart condition and I was going to die. So I went to the leader and he gave me these pills and now I can live again. Right?
If you remember in Black Widow, they referenced General Ross at the time, like his quadruple bypass or whatever that he had.
Yeah.
I guess they did set that up early in the MCU that he had heart problems. Yeah.
Somebody said Jay's way off. Maybe I am, but this is exactly what happened in the film, at least from my perspective. So then you find out that he's been lacing those pills with gamma radiation. So the leader finally gets in the president's head, is like, hey, man, why don't you become angry? Release your anger and you could beat those Japanese people up. Like, just do it. So he almost turns into the Hog there. And then he's like, he finally controls himself and he's like, oh, no, I'm okay. And then, you know, Captain America's like, what's going on, Mr. President? What happened here? He's like, my heart, man. I'm trying to do this for my daughter. I want to stay alive. So he goes back to the White House and the leader releases something in the media, right? Like he releases all this stuff in the media about how bad the president is. So he has a press conference and the press are getting on him. Like, oh, you're a liar and you did this. And the press, he's like, no, I'm not. Stop. And he turns into the Red Hulk. When he turns into the Red Hulk, Captain America shows up and he starts throwing like his wing daggers that are actually sticking in him, right? He's like, it's having an effect on the Hulk. Everything else is like the same powers as the Hulk. He's throwing these daggers and they're sticking in the Hulk. So he's like, all right, I'm going to get him away from the White House and we'll see if we could stop him. So then they go to this one little place in Washington, D.C. where those beautiful
cherry blossoms.
Yeah, cherry blossoms are there and they get into a little fight. Basically, it's all the Wakanda stuff. So every time the Hulk punches him, you know,
His shit turns purple and it
his
turns
wings,
into kinetic energy. And
his wings power up and he's able to punch the Hulk back. So Captain America's like dying, right? So he's got his wings surrounding him while the Hulk is just pounding the crap out of the wings, just powering them up. So finally, when he powers them up, he's like, I'll stab him with one of my wings with all this power, and knocks the Hulk down and kind of knocks him out, right? That's the end. So the Hulk gets up and Captain America walks over to him and goes, I know you can kill me with one punch. He literally says that. I know you can kill me with one punch, but think about your wife. And the cherry blossoms start to fall. And the Hulk grabs the cherry blossoms in his hands and he shrinks down to the president. I'm not making this up, man. He shrinks back down to like Harrison Ford. And, you know, and that's like basically it. Then the rest of the scene is like Captain America walking around. Oh, by the way,
fucking Anthony Mackie just looks like box office is getting real low, big guy. Fucking calm his ass down.
Freaking Bucky does make an appearance because Captain America's having a moment. He's like, I've been fighting my whole life to prove to the world that I can be somebody. And Bucky shows up. Steve gave you that shield because of you, not because of Captain America. And he walks out. So now he's like, okay, I am Captain America. So
that's the fucking problem. And I am going to be watching this depending on my download speed. I'll be watching it relatively soon. But that's the fucking problem. This whole thing's so meta. They're desperately trying to convince the audience that Sam is supposed to be Captain America.
So look.
That's what the entire plot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was, and it still didn't work. So then they have to bring Bucky in to do it here too, which is wild.
How they worked out Juan Carlo, that whole reshoot was
Giancarlo.
Yeah, that whole reshoot was done in one studio. You could easily tell. And that's how they found out it was the leader, because he was looking for a buyer and he stopped them. And they're like, who's your buyer? Oh, it's the leader. It's this guy in jail. These are the things that are stupid, right? So the leader escapes. Some people are starting to figure out it's him. So then he kills these soldiers, like with his special tool. He's like, I could stop your heart with like, because I'm smart. He kills these soldiers. And literally the next scene, he turns himself in front of Captain America because all he wants to do is expose the president. It's like, why did you kill the soldiers? You had no business walking around killing soldiers when he's like, I'm about to turn myself in. So he turns himself in to talk to Captain America saying, I'm going to expose the president. It's crazy. Anyway, that's the film. I didn't stay for the end credit scene because I heard it was boring. So I got up and left, but that's the end. At the very end, he talks to the president who's in the prison cell, and he goes, I came here to visit you, Mr. President, because I see you're trying to turn over a new leaf. You turned yourself in. You're willing to take the consequences, and that's respectful. Thank you. I've got someone here that wants to see you. And then he brings his daughter in, and they have a moment. So,
Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this entire thing, I've pretty much said my piece about what I thought Captain America Brave New World was going to do at the box office. There's been so much discussion surrounding, oh, look at how this compares to Winter Soldier, numbers. And it's like, well, that was a different time. That was a different era. That was a different theatrical release environment. But we have the first box office numbers from Captain America Brave New World. And holy shit, they're exactly kind of what I expected. $12 million Thursday preview at the box office. And what's the first comparison that people go to? Oh, what do you know? Winter Soldier from 2014, when they didn't have Thursday previews starting at 2 p.m. in like 3,500 theaters around the world, right? Where does that stack up to other MCU titles? Well, it's higher than 2014's Captain America Winter Soldier, which collected 10 million in previews on its way to a $95 million opening. But finally, the mainstream media compared it to the thing they should be comparing it to, Jay. It's also under the 17.5 million previews of the last MCU title over President's Day weekend, 2023's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which made its way to $106 million 3-day weekend and $120 million 4-day weekend. So yes, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, that first Thursday, 17.5 million. Captain America: Brave New World at 12 million. This is the only true comparison people should be talking about. This is almost one for one. The same fucking weekend, MCU release, 2 years apart. And it's set to be somewhere in the 80 to maybe $90 million range for the 3-day opening. And for that President's Day weekend, including the Monday, maybe in the 90, 95. They'll be lucky if they crack 100 million. So this thing is tracking significantly behind this movie, which finished at $460 million. The international numbers are not good either in both Asia, in parts of Asia and parts of Europe. It's the only thing it's tracking better than is the fucking Marvels in terms of MCU releases post-COVID. So it is not looking good at the box office.
The crazy thing is, I mean, I didn't really see anything woke about the film unless you consider the race swap with Captain America. It just was it was so clunky, and it just went from one place to the next, and you're just kind of like, this doesn't make sense. Why are we even here? Why did this part even happen? And then when you watch it compared to like some like, you know, Winter Soldier and others, like the fighting scenes, even the CGI was so much better back then that it just, I don't understand what they did to this film. It just, it literally looked like the Falcon and Winter Soldier season 2 for Disney Plus. That was the best way, because it looked like they were filming it in episodes. Because everybody, when you watch it, if you watch it, at the end of like every episode, what it seemed like in the film, everybody just walked away. You know, like when he went to Cap and they're like, Cap, please don't be that guy. He's like, I am that guy. And he just walks away. And then Bucky's in there. It's like, you've earned that shield. And when he's done talking, he just walks away. It just like, it just seemed like that's the end of like episode 4, right? That's the end of episode 5. That's the end of episode 6. And then the fighting scenes were just like so slow, you know. And for him throwing the shield is impossible without superpower. So I thought maybe he had like an ectoskeleton for him to throw the shield like he could, like Captain America. But he could have just been Falcon, honestly. Because
what are you talking about, Jay? They did a whole training montage in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
He does have some training in here too. So, which is, I mean, it's just he just jumps around and does some flips. But it's weird. Like when he's fighting Giancarlo's character, he gets stabbed in the chest, right? And he gets stabbed in the side. Okay. He takes out like the knife and then re-stabs Giancarlo right in the same spot, and he falls over. It's like, what? It just doesn't make sense.
And now you've got, I just showed that earlier, but there's a Vulture article. It says they're interviewing some people from set, and they're saying, I think everyone knew this is probably not going to be a good film.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of people that were working on this film saying the same thing that we've been hearing from the people at Marvel. Everybody knew it was not going to be good.
Yeah.
They were desperately just trying to fix it enough so it would be as mid as it possibly could be and release it. The budget's not $180 million. $180 million is probably that reshoot number. It's going to be a nightmare. And we've seen a lot of people in the mainstream in denial up until the release of this movie. And now that it's here, there's a lot of people who can't justify defending it that much. I haven't seen it. Like I said, I'll give my take on it probably this afternoon. But yeah, it doesn't sound very good.
It's just, you see all the money that they spend on the film, and then compared to like stuff of old, and it just makes you wonder, like, what are they doing, you know, with that money? Because it doesn't even look like a Marvel film. And I said that about Ant-Man Quantumania. I think that was one of the worst Marvel films ever. That was supposed to jumpstart the next phase, apparently. I think Ant-Man Quantumania did so much damage to like everything Marvel that they had given us before that. I hated that film. I hated what they did to the Ant-Man character. It had nothing to do with Kang. It just like everything to do with like what they did That movie was just piled with convenience, and I hate when they do that in a film. You know, like when you're getting beat up and you all of a sudden look to the left and there's like a magic dagger that you could use to win the fight. It's just like nothing but convenience. And it's like, so there's no stakes at all. It's just like, it doesn't matter what they go through. There's something convenient that will help them magically that appeared. You know, it's like the rise of Skywalker. They needed to look for a dagger to find the Death Star, and they just trip over it in the desert. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's so stupid that they do that. And so there's just like no stakes. So it's like it's a film filled with convenience. So I hate that. It's just it's not exciting and it's not fun.
Can't wait. Derek PG Beller for $1. Watch Captain America Civil War with my kids last night. That movie is always fantastic to watch. We'll see how it compares to Falcon America.
I liked
when I
it.
watch it later today. Not optimistic. Civil War is fine. I think that Civil War is a fine movie. I think the problem is calling it Civil War when Civil War in the comic books is so fucking wild and so impactful. And essentially in this, you know, in the MCU's version of Civil War, it's really civil backyard brawl, civil parking lot scuffle, where everybody's still happy with each other, with the exception of Cap and Tony, who are like, we're not going to talk for a little while, but here's a phone in case you need to call me. And like the only lasting like real ramifications in terms of like injuries or death is fucking Rhodey, who, if he really did get paralyzed, that would be fucking crazy. But luckily he knows the richest dude, the most technologically advanced dude in the world, who immediately heals his paralysis. So it's like, there just weren't enough true consequences of that.
They started leaning into that, where when you lean into no one's ever really gone, that is the truest line from anything that comes out of Disney. You know, when Luke Skywalker says no one's never really gone, he's absolutely correct. They just keep bringing him back. I mean, it doesn't matter. No one's really going to die. They're just going to bring him back. They'll find a way. That's why they did the time travel thing. They'll find a way. No one's ever really gone. So don't cry. Don't be upset if you see your favorite character on the screen, or if they messed him up completely and they're like, yeah, this didn't make any money. Let's just bring him back somewhere else and change it so people will be happy. That is where they are in these films, and it's terrible. It's terrible. So they should have closed the book on Endgame. Maybe had one or two standalone films like the Spider-Man movie, Wolverine, fine. But like once those movies were done, it had no impact. It was shut. Everything was done, and then moved into, you know, the either Fantastic Four or another run with something else. That's just completely different than what they gave us. Just freaking start over, you know, and like I said, have a one or two standalone films that doesn't impact anything, just a fun standalone film. And then if they're going to go into another like 10 years, just something completely different. But of course, they can't do that. They got to go back because they're scared. They know they're bankrupt creatively. Sorry.
You got it.
And they got to go back to what works. That's why we got Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doom. So, anyway.
Jay Jane. Fellas, going to my first Comic-Con next month. William Zabka and Martin Cove supposed to be there.
Martin Cove. Just don't give him any gifts.
Yeah. Too high strung for 199. Can Ryan stop saying wholesome? I'm getting scared. I can flip it around and say some hole. Well, it's Valentine's Day. That's the night for some hole, you know. Archer Blades for 800 yen. Better Call Saul's how you do a prequel. Cobra Kai's how you do a sequel. Cobra Kai never dies. I agree. Unknown Shit Clown Wars. Thank you. Jessica Lindstrom, Secret Racism. Brian, check your T levels. You have been too nice, especially to gay. You haven't called him stupid in a while. I usually don't call Jay stupid. I feel like he feels that he is sometimes, you know, whereas Jeremy sometimes doesn't feel he is, so he really needs to be called fucking retarded a lot.
I already know I'm kind of dumb, so Ryan doesn't have to reinforce it.
I've been seeing a lot of Down syndrome videos lately. Have you been seeing all those? A lot of Down syndrome videos flying around. I keep thinking of Jay when I see him. Choose Valowance for 10. Captain, Brave New World. Ryan is a Navy man. How believable is it that the U.S. Navy would engage the mighty Japanese Navy in a battle with the president at the helm of a ship directing the battle?
Yeah, that was in the film. They were all racing to the celestial place from Eternals.
The president wouldn't be there. That's kind of silly. Sean for 5. Just finished Superman and Lois. Bummed it's over. It's good and wholesome. No, Jeremy liked it. What do you guys think of the show? Honestly, I watched the first season. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't mind the vibe, and I didn't love the kids. I didn't think Lois was pretty enough. I know it's really shallow, but in those early, at least in that first season, I looked at her like when they did the fucking turnaround, when her hair's flowing everywhere. I was like, Clark, you can do better, bro. You know, so it was fine. I just after I watched the first season, I didn't really feel the need to carry on with it. Sir had for 5. I let my brother order a pizza once. He ordered it through some DoorDash type place, jacked up the cost for the pizza I was going to pick up myself. Yes. Don't do that. Don't do that. Mark Arsenal for 5. Do you think they claim the $180 million budget because the separate money spent when it was Captain America New World Order as its own project that they'll write off? Possibly. Man, that's possibly how they're going to try to get around some of that with some funky accounting. Captain James T. Skywalker, Canadian Bear for Prime Minister, and Krista Nova for First Sweetheart.
I don't know what I would do first.
John Platt, hail Ryan and Jay, and GG Mods and Chats. Against my better judgment, I've booked my ticket to watch Captain African American versus the Red Sulk. Well,
let us know.
It's everybody's decision whether they want to spend their money or not. But maybe you like it. Babylon 5 is better than Stargate SG-1. Sounds like the movie sucks. Jay thinks
it was a bad film.
If Jay made spoiler reviews like this, he'd definitely get the Tesla.
I'll try to do something similar when I release the when I release my review video. But usually I get roasted in the chat. People are like, "Who the freak? This guy's retarded." That's the common comment I get. But here we go.
Tobias for 5. Sounds like a shit show. They really try to do World War II and a half. I could write a better movie than this, and mine would be furry characters with guns. Please don't. Tobias. Over on locals, McCock for $1 for Ryan. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I got the looks that drive the girls wild. I got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Boy toy.
Bro, I love Shawn Michaels.
Shout out Shawn Michaels.
HBK.
Look at this, Ryan. Hold on. I actually hated Ryan at first when I saw him on F&T, and he's become one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, thank you.
People say the exact opposite about me. I used to like Jay at first. Now I can't stand him.
People actually that is the vast majority of people when they first encounter me, they fucking hate me. And then over time, you slowly realize that, wow, what an asshole, what a piece of shit he is. But goddamn if he ain't right. And so that's basically it. So thank you. What was that? Nick 6? Was that the name?
Yeah.
Thank you. Glad I won you over. Over on locals as well, Grapdar's Hammer, $3 tip. Goose Kicker Podcast. I want a 16-bit crawler arcade game with you two fighting criminal geese and cranes on the streets of Universal and Disney. We could do that. McCock, what happened to George Lopez? And then he shares this this image of George Lopez on like Jennifer Hudson's show or something. Yeah, that is George Lopez now. He looks like a fucking crazy Mexican Albert Einstein.
Maybe he's got a movie and he's got to look like that. I remember
Didn't
back
he,
in the
take
day,
his wife's kidney and then divorce her.
I don't know anything about George Lopez other than that he's weird. Back in the day before social media, they'd get pictures of actors that would lose a lot of weight for roles, and they'd be like, Tom Hanks has AIDS confirmed in those was it National Enquirer magazine? Man, my grandmother used to buy those magazines. And they're like, no, he was in Castaway. He lost a lot of weight for Castaway. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah, so
You know what I'm talking about? Like they would get a picture of them like they're getting ready to like play a movie. But yeah.
That's what people thought about Chadwick, remember?
That he had AIDS?
No.
Oh.
When people saw Chadwick and how skinny he was near the end,
yeah.
people didn't know if it was for a role or something like that. Like there's a lot of speculation about it. Like, no, motherfucker's sick. Yeah, so George Lopez, his wife donated her kidney to George, who had he had kidney issues, he needed new kidneys. So she donated it to him. And then when he got healthy, he fucking divorced her. But yeah. George Lopez.
Shout out Nerdrotic.
Is he in the chat?
Yeah.
What's up, Gary? Grabthar's Hammer for a $2 tip. Sam Wilson is Miles Morales. Choose Villoence for 2. My former widow was a weird casting choice. Or the former widow was a weird casting choice. Akujinskas, member for 6 months. How does Captain Falcon popcorn bucket rate, Jay? You didn't get one, did you?
I didn't get one. I guess
Yeti,
if people like the shield, the Captain America shield, that one's not bad. So then they had the one with Red Hulk that you can get, even though he was
barely in the movie.
I don't know if we'll ever see Red Hulk again. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeti, if you think Jay's lying, he's not. It's literally the whole movie.
Oh, I highlighted that. Yeah, for later, just in case. Thank you.
Jack Allen for 5. With inflation, Winter Soldier open at 126 million. So misleading when they don't include inflation. Also, Jeremy's a fig.
Thank you, Jack.
Jay, talk about how funny the jokes were in Captain Brave New World.
I'm trying to remember one. I don't remember.
Harry Brownhole for 2. Wonder how many of the preview ticks Disney bought. If that was true, they would have bought a lot more. We'll put it that way. Boba Fett for 199. So Red Hulk isn't even the villain. Why advertise?
No, he's not. It's just so the leader wanted the president to turn into a creature just to expose him, to like have him locked up for life because he locked him up. So that's all it was. So when he turned into the Hulk, you know, he loses control and just Hulk smash. Pretty much all it was.
Taker for 2. Jay, does Cap finally get approved for a loan?
No, the president took it away from him.
Elon Muskie man sent for 199. Ryan gave me Jay's last weekend, sick for 3 days.
Oh, man.
Well, I got it now, man. Carol Hall with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Carol. Thank you for the 5 memberships. AD the Demon Slayer for 20. Happy Friday. Just uploaded my first video. I currently have 0 followers, but I'm not discouraged at all. Thanks for encouraging me to get off my ass and start my channel. See you at the middle. Hey, shout out for starting your channel, AD the Demon Slayer. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yellow Flash is here. Luke will come back so he can become a homosexual. Somebody was talking about that.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, let's see if I can find this shit. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Yes. William Shatner, he's over 90, isn't he? He's like 93 years old or something at this point. He's pretty old.
Dude is funny as crap, man, if you meet him.
He just spends a lot of time on Twitter shitting on people, and including shitting on Star Wars. And yesterday he sent out a tweet that got a lot of attention. William Shatner accuses Mark Hamill of ruining Star Wars. William Shatner claims Mark Hamill's comments about Luke Skywalker's sexuality negatively impacted Star Wars. And he shared this post from Vanity Fair. This is an old article.
Yeah, it's like 9 years old.
It is like, yeah, it's almost a decade old article. But Shatner tweets this out. For those Star Wars fans who are trying to tell me Disney ruined everything, I assume you're referring to Mara Jade. Hamill actually ruined it for you when he revealed Luke was gay. Mara, being struck from Star Wars canon, was part of her annulment agreement from the Force. Obviously, all of this is just like tongue in cheek. Shatner shits on Star Wars and shits on Mark Hamill all the
All the
time.
time.
All the fucking time he does, which is very funny. But this is all coming from, again, this Vanity Fair article. Like, Mark Hamill got asked by fans, like,
Yeah.
about whether he thought Luke could be gay and blah, 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 all this stuff. And Mark Hamill's response was, well, it's up to you how you interpret the character. If you think he's gay, of course he's gay. Well,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's not exactly the fucking case. This isn't an RPG. This isn't a choose your own adventure. This is a fucking story, right? You don't get to choose just because you think Anakin has secret butt sex. Doesn't mean, like, in your fucking headcanon, doesn't mean shit. And of course, he's talking about Mara Jade. And if you guys don't know, in the expanding universe, Mara Jade was the love interest and eventually wife of Luke Skywalker throughout decades and decades of storytelling. And so that's what he's talking about when Disney came in and erased a lot of all the established continuity, what is now known as Legends, what used to be known as the expanded universe. But I did just think it was funny that Shatner will always take an opportunity to shit on Mark fucking Hamill,
Yeah,
especially when he
always.
says retarded things like this.
There was a whole thing. It was a whole thing where he was like, people were asking him like, Disney ruins everything. So he kept asking, he's like, what did he ruin? And then people were like, they ruined Star Wars. And then it was almost like Shatner was like, yep, here's my opportunity to take a dig. It was so good. It was so good. I got to sit and have lunch with Shatner in Chicago. The dude was freaking.
Was he in his little buggy?
He made fun of everyone, man. It was so funny. Like people. He just like people that were working backstage, people that were he just took a chance to take a jab. He's like, man, you see what that person's wearing? It was
Just
so
constantly roasting everybody.
so freaking funny.
Feel like we'd get along.
No, like because in the back rooms, there's just a bunch of round tables, and people like when they take breaks from photos, they just go and they always have food out there, whether like a lunch or snacks or anything. And then so I was just sitting by myself, and he just sat and he's like, anybody here? And I'm like, no, have a seat. I didn't expect anything. And he's like, look at this person over here. And I just started laughing. And I guess he found an audience in me laughing because I laugh at everything. So he just trolled on everyone, freaking everybody. And then I was like, I gotta go. I was like, thanks for always being my captain. And I went to shake his hand. He didn't. He went like this. He wouldn't touch me. Smart guy.
He didn't want to get sick, bro.
I was like, thanks for always being my captain. And he's like, he grabs his own hand. You're welcome.
Like, I don't know where that hand's been.
I know. I didn't say 2 words to him. All I did was laugh. Like they kept saying stuff about me. I just laughed. So I didn't really have like a, in-depth conversation about the universe, but it was like 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes. And then I had to get to the photo thing, and he here, pretty funny.
Fart, shart, depart for $5. 2 black friends I've known for years told me that white kids will never have it as bad as black kids. Made me speechless and honestly just sad. Thanks, fart, shart. Sketch for 2. Blah. Jared Armstrong for 5. Shawn Michaels needs to fix that lazy eye. It's distracting. It's been 30 years. I don't think he's changing anytime soon. Kalioth for 5. So if Luke Skywalker's now trans, does that make Leia queer and Han bi? Keep the spin coming. It only further kills it harder. Well, and like I said, when you like what Mark Hamill, he was basically asked questions by fans. Do you think Luke Skywalker could be good? And he was basically like, it's up to you. If your interpretation is that he's gay, then of course he's gay.
Yeah.
Shit. He wasn't like making some sort of declarative statement necessarily, but it's retarded to answer.
That's for Wikipedia to decide.
Yeah, exactly. And then what do you know? We get fucking short stories from activist trans freaks at Lucasfilm about Luke Skywalker wanting to butt fuck somebody while they're stuck in a tunnel in Hoth. Kalioth, I just said that. Jaro for 190. Is Cat 4 worth it? Or is it that bad? Is it woke? It sounds like it's not worth it. It sounds like it's shit.
I don't think it's woke. I think it's just a terrible movie. Boring.
Stephen De Leon, yeah, fuck Ryan. Yasake Gigasaki. for 5. My theory is Jay pretends to be dumb on camera for super chats, but is secretly a genius. Jeremy's definitely retarded, though.
If being dumb collects more money, then I'm all for it. More people should be doing it, though.
Jay gets more super chats than I do. Titty smacker. Where's
Feels
Beardo?
sorry for me.
Guy stole my neighbor's bananas.
Nice avatar.
He needed more. Fortune and glory. Give some membership. Thank you. Mr. Wilson, Ryan Kinnell. I have altercations with geese and sex with men. Hail the 199. Jay, you need to do more movie reviews.
Man, anything I put on my channel, just if I can get 2,000 views, it's a great day.
Andy Masterson for 5. Convention pointer. Do not compliment people on their Ricky Berwick cosplay. It's not appreciated.
Oh.
Professor Savage Dad. When I first met Ryan, I thought he was a gay theater kid. Then I realized it was actually Jeremy who is a gay theater kid. River Miles. Did Shatner think Jay had the syndrome?
Probably.
He thought it was like, he's like, I didn't think we signed up for a Make-A-Wish on the schedule. Double back again for 2. Shatner, so kind, and not make fun of Jay's condition. Jesus with a gifted membership. Thank you, Jesus Davila. Ronan for $2 over on Rumble. Tired Ryan's droopy face makes his forehead look bigger. I feel really fucking tired today. No lies. No lies.
You got F&T coming up.
I do. And I got to find a way to stay awake watching a Black Falcon Captain America movie. McCock for 1. I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. Them other boys don't know how to act. Yeah. I think it's special what's behind your back. Yeah. So turn around and I'll pick up the slack. Yeah. Take it to the bridge. All right, I'm fucking done. Thank you, McCock. You wanted me to say all those things. I heard them playing that song the other day.
Yeah.
In a restaurant, which is crazy. My theory is Jeremy pretends to be straight. He lets the mask slip. Jay is to fear the Tardo as Bruce Wayne is to Batman.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Thank you. I think we're all caught up. Let me make sure I got everything on Rumble. Shout out to the big Rumble audience today. We appreciate it, guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's it for us, Jay. What do you got going on, man?
I'm about to make my Captain America review, even though probably the 1,000 people that would watch it already seen it here. So hopefully, at least you could do is show it a little thumbs up, love, maybe when it drops. And that's about it. Looking forward to sleeping on Saturday. But I think I've hopefully this weekend I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna freaking finish the Indiana Jones game. That's my plan. So
it'll be good.
There's a yawn. Ryan with the mask. He's like, man, I'm so bored and tired.
I'm not bored. I'm tired. Never bored. Just only tired. Yeah. Who's on FNT today? I don't fucking know, man, to be honest. Me. Who do I know is going to be on FNT? Me, Gary, Quarter Black, X-Ray Girl. That's all I know. It could be anybody else. Chad, Disparu.
People are saying Mahler.
Mahler? Oh, I fucking hope it's Mahler. That'll be great. That'll be great to have Mahler on there to talk about this. But, all right, guys. That's it. We're out. Have a good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. If you don't have a date tonight, there's always your hand. We will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.